Once upon a time, high above the world, there was a little cloud named Nimbus. Now, Nimbus wasn't like the other clouds. While his friends, Cumulus and Stratus, loved nothing more than to gather together and let their raindrops fall, Nimbus had a different idea. "Not a single drop," he'd declare, puffing out his chest. "My water is mine and I'm keeping it." The other clouds would drift by, looking confused. But Nimbus, a big fluffy cumulus, would say, "Raining is what we do. It's our purpose. The world below needs us." Nimbus would just scoff, folding his misty arms. He'd watch as his friends release their rain, seeing the fields turn green and the rivers swell with joy. He saw the flowers lift their heads to drink, and the children splash in puddles, their laughter echoing up to the sky. But still, he held on. "It looks nice," he'd mumble to himself. "But this water is my treasure. If I give it all away, what will I have left?" He believed that the more water he held, the bigger and more important he would become. So he hoarded every tiny droplet, growing denser and darker day by day. Down below, on a small patch of earth directly under Nimbus, things were not going well. The sun beat down relentlessly. The once green grass turned a brittle brown. The soil, once soft and welcoming, began to crack, forming deep, thirsty fissures. A tiny wildflower, whom everyone called Sunny, was struggling the most. Her once vibrant yellow petals were starting to wilt and curl at the edges. She'd stretch her stem as high as she could, looking up at the dark, heavy cloud that loomed over her. "Please," she'd whisper, her voice as faint as a rustling leaf, "just a little water. I'm so thirsty." Other creatures in the field felt the same. A family of ladybugs had to move on, searching for plants with morning dew. The worms burrowed deeper, trying to find any hint of moisture left in the soil. The whole patch of land, once bustling with life, was becoming silent and still. All the while, Nimbus floated above, proud of his size. He was now the biggest, darkest cloud in the entire sky. He felt powerful, important. But as he looked down, he couldn't ignore the silent, pleading gaze of the little wildflower. One day, an old, wise cloud named Cirrus drifted by. He was thin and wispy, made more of ice crystals than water, and he had seen many seasons come and go. He saw the proud, heavy Nimbus and the parched land below. "You are very full, little one," Cirrus said in a gentle, crackling voice. "You must feel very important." Nimbus swelled with pride. "I am. I'm the biggest cloud for miles around. I haven't wasted a single drop." Cirrus looked down at Sunny the wildflower, who was now drooping so low her petals almost touched the cracked earth. "And what has all that fullness brought you?" Cirrus asked softly. "You have your treasure, but look at the world you hold it from. Is there joy in your treasure if you are the only one who has it?" Nimbus followed his gaze. He saw the faded yellow of Sunny's petals, the deep cracks in the ground, the absence of life. For the first time, he didn't feel powerful. He felt heavy and lonely. The water he was holding so tightly suddenly didn't feel like a treasure. It felt like a burden. He saw the other clouds, lighter and happier after their rain, drifting playfully in the breeze. He had been so focused on keeping his water that he had forgotten the joy of sharing it. A strange feeling stirred within Nimbus. He thought about the laughter of children playing in puddles, the vibrant green of a well-watered field, the grateful upward glance of a blooming flower. Was holding on to his water worth more than all of that? He looked at Sunny one last time, her head bowed in despair. Something inside him finally broke. It wasn't a sad feeling, but a feeling of release. A single, tiny droplet slipped from his edge. Then another, and another. At first, it was just a light drizzle. Sunny felt the first drop on her wilting petal and stirred. Could it be? She lifted her head ever so slightly. The drops came faster now, a gentle, steady shower. Nimbus wasn't holding back anymore. He was letting it all go. The rain washed the dust from Sunny's leaves and soaked into the thirsty ground around her roots. The cracks in the soil drank deeply, slowly softening and closing. The air, once hot and dry, became cool and fresh, filled with the beautiful smell of rain on dry earth. Sunny drank and drank, and with every drop, she felt life flowing back into her. Her stem straightened, her leaves unfurled, and her yellow petals brightened, turning towards the sky as if to say thank you. The gentle shower turned into a downpour. Nimbus was giving everything he had, and the most amazing thing happened. He didn't feel empty or small. He felt light. He felt free. He felt an incredible joy he had never known before. A joy that came not from keeping, but from giving. As his rain poured down, he watched the little patch of land transform. The brown grass began to show hints of green. The worms started to move again, aerating the newly softened soil. Life was returning, all because of him. He wasn't the biggest or darkest cloud anymore. In fact, he was becoming quite light and translucent, but he had never felt more important. He realized his true value wasn't in how much water he could hold, but in how much life he could give. When his last drop had fallen, Nimbus was almost transparent, a faint wisp in the sky. The sun began to peek through, and its rays caught the remaining moisture in the air, creating a magnificent rainbow right over the rejuvenated field. Sunny, now standing tall and bright, looked up at the beautiful arc of color, and then at the faint outline of Nimbus. She knew he had saved her. From that day on, Nimbus was a changed cloud. He understood that true wealth isn't what you keep for yourself, but what you share with others. He would happily gather water, knowing that soon he would have the joy of giving it back to the world. And sometimes, if you look up at the sky after a refreshing rain, you might just see a faint, happy little cloud dancing in the breeze, knowing he made the world just a little bit brighter. This story reminds us that sometimes the greatest treasures are the ones we give away. Kindness, generosity, and helping others can bring a joy that hoarding for ourselves never will. We all have something to give, whether it's a helping hand, a kind word, or just a smile. Sharing what we have doesn't make us smaller. It makes us part of something bigger and more beautiful. Thank you for watching with us today. If you enjoyed our story, please remember to like, share, and subscribe for more tales that make you think. We'll see you next time.